Hi guys, Lillian the Vegan here with the recipe for potato and corn pie. Very yum yum yum. Going to use some beautiful fresh corn that's in season here in Japan, so that will be nice. First start with the crust. We're going to make our own crust today because you need a vegan crust. So start with that and then I'll show you what to do with the filling. How to make the easiest vegan pie crust. In my bowl I have 200 grams of plain white flour. To that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of white sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. Using a fork, mix the dry ingredients first, very quickly. This should only take a second. Add 2 tablespoons of soy milk and 80 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Using your fork, mix the dough batter, or I should say the pie crust batter, and it's going to come together very, very quickly. This is the easiest pie crust recipe in the world, and of course it's vegan. People have an image that making pie crust is just such a difficult thing to do, but I'm showing you now what's happened in like 10-20 seconds. And this, my friends, is all you need to do because the pie crust is ready. And then you're going to put it into a 9-inch pie crust tin. So get the dough off the fork, and just using your hands you're going to see it's formed a bowl. A ball. I can't seem to say the word ball these days. So the dough's come together into a little ball, or rather a big ball, and there's no need to oil the pie tin because the olive oil in the pie crust dough is going to be enough so that it doesn't stick to the pie crust when you try to get it out. It doesn't stick to the pie tin, I should say, when you try to get it out. And just using your fingers, put the dough in nicely. Make sure you get all the edges nice and done. I make about a pie a week because they're so easy and they're so delicious. And you can see how quickly the pie crust, how easy it is to make, rather. So just go around. This should take a minute or so. You want your pie crust to be beautiful, so go up to the edges. Don't miss any of the sides. Don't worry if it's like, you know, looking like that at the bottom, because no one's going to see the bottom of the pie crust, are they? Because you're going to have filling in there, so it doesn't matter. Just as long as you get the sides up nicely, get them nice and even. You don't want like one side of your pie crust to be thick and the other thin, so just, you know, you have to feel. That's all I can say. You just go around using your thumb. See what I'm doing with my thumb? And this is ready to go into the oven. But there's a couple of things I have to do before I bake my pie crust. You always want to bake the pie crust first before you put the filling in, okay? So, using the fork that we used to mix the flour, you're going to just pierce the crust at the bottom to let the air out while it's baking so it doesn't rise too much. Right, go around, that's alright. And because after you put the filling into your pie, you're going to have to bake it again, right? So what we're going to do is cover the edges of the pie crust with some foil. Just like that. I mean, seriously, how easy is this? And you watch what I'm going to do with this pie crust later on, because my pies are amazing and people think I spend hours and hours making them because they turn out so beautiful, but the truth is they take only a few seconds. Right, so the pie crust is ready to go into a 220 degrees Celsius oven for 15 minutes. So the pie crust has just come out of the oven, and look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? And you saw how easy it was to make. It took like literally a minute and a half. So while that's cooling on the tray, we're going to get on to the filling, which is 2 large potatoes that I've already diced. They're in about 1 centimetre cubes. And to the potatoes I've put 2 cups of water, so 400 mils of water, and I'm going to add at first half a teaspoon of veggie stock. As I said in a previous video, I always use Vegeta vegetable stock, which I think is the best one out there. So the potatoes are done, and they took 12 minutes to steam. They're nice and soft. They're still in their diced form because I haven't taken my spatula to mash them yet, but I am just going to use the spatula to do this. Just give them a little bit of a mash. You don't have to, like, you know, beat the hell out of them or anything. So do that. I will do that more in a second, but I'm also going to cut the steamed corn. I steamed this beautiful corn for 5 minutes, and it's already cooled down, which is no problem, because once the pie goes into the oven for about 40 minutes, obviously the corn's going to heat up really nicely. So you can use this, you know, grab a piece of corn. If you've got steamed corn in your fridge, go ahead and use that. It doesn't have to be hot or just steamed. If you're going to use canned corn, I recommend 1 can of corn. Just make sure that you drain the corn well. You don't want, you know, too many nasty liquids in there from the can. Mix the corn in with the potatoes. Also, I'm going to add the black olives. I've got 2 tablespoons of chopped black olives. And you do have to make sure you do have to try this and make sure that you've got enough vegetable stock in there. Remember I only put half a teaspoon in, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to be enough. So before I taste it, I just want to put my Italian seasoning. I'm using 1 teaspoon of dried herbs, and the dried herbs I'm using today is the Italian seasoning. Use whatever dry herb you like, totally up to you. Add some freshly ground black pepper. You can season your potato and corn filling however you like. If you want to go in and, you know, throw in some chilies, go for it. Fresh herbs, of course, would be nice, but I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, so hopefully someone out there in YouTube land actually tries and makes this pie, because it's very, very yum. I'll just give that a taste, to check for the salt. Well, I'm actually not going to add any more. So I got away with using half a teaspoon of the Vegeta stock, and I think that's going to be fine. So now we grab the gorgeous pie crust that we made earlier on, and I'm just going to put the filling in. This might be just a bit too much filling. Let's see. Almost looks like it's ready to eat. And that is mushroom and corn pie, but we have to put it back into the oven, remember? And the filling's already cooked inside, so you're not putting it into the oven to cook it, you're putting it into the oven to heat it up and just get the pie crust a bit more browned. I'm going to put it into a 180 degrees Celsius oven this time for about 30 minutes. Just watch it, be careful. Make sure you don't burn it. If you see that the edges are getting a bit dark, go ahead and cover the edges with foil again, or cover the whole thing with foil. I'm telling you that you don't need to do that. Try it in the oven for 30 minutes, pull it out and have a look at it, see if it's the colour you like, and it should be ready. I've got my beautiful, gorgeous pie out of the fridge. I let it chill for about 30 minutes and I have to give it the taste test now. Looks like I'm not dining alone this time. So for the taste test, whoa, lost a bit of that, but worry about that later. Itadakimasu. And remember, whenever you cook something really yummy, make sure you enjoy it with someone you love. Thanks for watching. See you next time.